When you see a doctor for chronic back pain, you'll most likely receive a medical diagnosis identifying some kind of structural abnormality in your spine. One of these diagnoses is called scoliosis, a condition characterized by the abnormal curvature of the spine. While there are several types of scoliosis, the most common type, by far, accounting for 80% of cases, is called idiopathic scoliosis, which simply means that the cause is unknown. And yet, I'm taking a very educated guess that you've been trying treatments for scoliosis to get rid of your back pain, and it's not working. What's going on, and how can you get out of this endless loop? Come with me now, and I'll explain the likely cause of your pain so you can get on the right path to healing it. The evidence. As someone who's had back pain myself and then worked with hundreds of back pain sufferers, it's always interesting to really look at the information about any structural diagnosis that's being identified as the cause of your pain, because they are nearly always wrong. In fact, 99% of back pain is not caused by a structural issue at all. Let's take a look at the evidence now. As I stated at the beginning of this episode, in 80% of scoliosis diagnoses, the cause is unknown, which makes you wonder how doctors leap to the conclusion that this is where your back pain is coming from, and that the supposed causes of most cases of scoliosis are just, well, guesses. Let's look at what the medical community has come up with. Possible causes of idiopathic scoliosis. Genetic factors. Scoliosis can run in families, suggesting a genetic predisposition. And I must interject here that after doing a lot of research over many years, I've discovered that genetic factors is a catch-all cause for back pain and many other chronic conditions, when the truth is, doctors really don't know. Hormonal changes during puberty can contribute to scoliosis. Rapid growth spurts can cause scoliosis to worsen quickly. And yet we all go through puberty, and many of us have rapid growth spurts at some point. So it's unclear why scoliosis results for some. Then they say that other back conditions can result in scoliosis, including degenerative disc disease. The reasoning being that as discs degenerate, they lose height and tilt, which can lead to scoliosis in adults. And vertebral compression fractures. The connection in this case is that when the spine weakens due to bone loss, it can fracture, which can lead to scoliosis. The problem here is that degenerative disc disease and vertebral compression fractures are just names assigned by the medical community for normal aging and don't typically cause pain either. And there's more. Let's hear directly from some experienced people who have taken a closer look at back pain and scoliosis. Words from the wise. These first two quotes are from Dr. John Sarno. You may have heard of him. He coined an alternate diagnosis for chronic pain and other conditions called tension myositis syndrome. Myositis means muscle inflammation. In a nutshell, TMS is a mind-body connection approach that's based on real pain generated from tightness and inflammation in your muscles, tendons, nerves, and other soft tissue, not the hard tissue in the spine. And with the TMS diagnosis, significant prolonged stress and anxiety are the origin of the pain. More about that at the end of this video. Now, Dr. Sarno wrote several books, and here's what he had to say about scoliosis in two of his publications. First, from Healing Back Pain. Scoliosis refers to an abnormal side-to-side curvature of the spine, commonly seen in teenage girls and usually persisting into adult life. Its cause is unknown. It rarely causes pain in teenagers, but is often blamed for back pain in adults. I have not yet found this to be the case. And from the Mind-Body Prescription. I find it a source of wonderment that scoliosis in adults is assumed to be painful. Because doctors don't have an alternative explanation for the pain, logic takes flight. Over and over, the pain of TMS is attributed to some structural abnormality or physical or mechanical process because the medical profession is not aware of the existence of TMS. Next, from an article published in 2021 on painscience.com called Differences in Nonspecific Low Back Pain Between Young Adult Females with and Without Lumbar Scoliosis. There is no consensus as to whether nonspecific low back pain in scoliosis patients is related to scoliosis per se, or is just a normal symptom that could happen in anyone. And this from an article titled "The Strange Case of Scoliosis and Back Pain," penned by a science writer named Paul Ingram in Vancouver, Canada, who identifies himself as a chronic pain sufferer. In the article, Mr. Ingram says that the link between back pain and scoliosis is so murky that legendary spine expert Dr. Alf Nechesum wrote in 1979, "From available long-term follow-up studies of untreated scoliosis, there seems to be minimal risk of disabling back pain in adult patients who have lumbar curves." And here's the thing. You've likely landed on this video not primarily because you've been diagnosed with scoliosis, but because you do have back pain. The pain itself is the real problem, and the structure of your spine is likely not the origin of the pain. Using some basic logic, it's reasonable to conclude that just because you have a curve in your spine and you have back pain doesn't necessarily mean that one is causing the other. So if this evidence is starting to make you question the connection, or lack of, between your curved spine and your back pain, what you want to know next is what the heck is going on and how do you get off the pain merry-go-round? Here we go. What is causing the pain? I referenced the likely true source of your back pain when quoting the late, great Dr. John Sarno and his tension myositis syndrome diagnosis. It turns out that the pain is actually being caused by something that's never mentioned by doctors treating scoliosis: stress and anxiety. Here's how this happens. Stress triggers the release of hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, which send your body into fight or flight mode. This increases your blood pressure and heart rate and tightens your muscles to prepare you to fight or flee from what your mind perceives as a dangerous physical or emotional situation. Stress hormones also stimulate your immune system to release cytokines, which are proteins that cause inflammation. Chronic stress keeps your body in an inflammatory state and creates pain. So despite the varied list of other possible causes for scoliosis and the questionable resulting back pain, that's basically it, folks. The soft tissue in your back, not the spine itself, has become chronically inflamed due to emotional stress. And in our modern world, nearly everyone is stressed a lot of the time. And as simple as this sounds, there's a 99% chance that this is what's causing your back pain. Why isn't the medical community telling us the truth? Scoliosis is treated by an orthopedist or spine surgeon. These specialists are focused on finding structural, as in hard tissue, abnormalities. That's what they're taught in medical school, and frankly, that's what pays their bills. But since the evidence I presented to you earlier in this episode shows a very sketchy link between scoliosis and back pain, you have every reason to further explore the idea that your pain probably lives in your soft tissue and is being triggered by stress. Now, what to do about it? So how do you cure your back pain? The good news is that fixing this is really pretty simple. My partner John and I put together a free 6-minute workshop that explains this 3-step process for healing chronic back pain. To get it, just click on the link below to land on calmyourback.com. If you can accept that your doctors might be wrong about scoliosis causing your back pain, then this could be a real game changer for you. And before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. I'm Laura Thornton. Thanks for watching.